Welcome back. Let's continue our discussion now on the opposition leaders' adoption of the ADC and the Labour Party factions clash now over Peter Obi's alignment, of course, with the ADC. I'm now being joined on the program by current affairs analyst Franklin Onoben, who joins us from another part of Lagos. Mr. Onoben, thank you very much for coming on the program. First off, let's talk about this clash between the two factions now of the Labour Party over the decision of Obi to join that ADC coalition, so to speak. Of course, the Abure faction giving him a short notice to resign his membership of the Labour Party, and then the other faction coming out to say that it gave Obi the go-ahead to go into that alignment, if you like.
Okay, thank you for having me. For some time now, the Labour Party has been in the news for what some would describe as not the very palatable of terms. And their issues, their inter-party matter have gone all the way to the Supreme Court. And incidentally, some would argue that the Supreme Court did not exactly do justice to that matter because rather than say or give a definite injunction as to who should be the national chairman, the Supreme Court gave the authority or the prerogative back to the party to decide for itself how to run its matters, because again, external bodies should not come in to decide for the party. Now, this has led to two separate interpretations of the Supreme Court judgment. Whilst the Abure faction, is holding on to say that the Supreme Court gave them back the authority to continue as the leadership, the other faction, which is led by Nedadi Usman, is claiming that the Supreme Court also gave them the authority to decide to nullify the leadership of Abure and set up a new one. So this has become created a crack, as it were, in the Labour Party, and we all know where the likes of Mr. Peter Obi, His Excellency, and the other elected officers in the party stand. Many of them stand with the factional, the other side, which is led by the caretaker committee, which has been set up. So we are not surprised when we begin to hear situations like what we heard recently, where the flag bearer in the last election decided to join the coalition. And the Abure faction, which has seemed to have fallen out with almost every known figure in the party, now decide to take this as an opportunity to flex their muscles, because that's what I think they are doing. They probably would only be able to sway some part of the party, because I believe that the majority of the party stand with the obedient or the obese faction of the Labour Party. So whatever it is that Julius Abure and his faction are trying to prove with this 24 or 48 hours ultimatum is yet to be seen. One day is gone. We are looking at the less than another 24 hours.
But certainly Obi cannot be a member of two political parties, can he?
Yeah, come again.
He can hold membership of two political parties. That's the Labour Party and the ADC.
Yes. So again, what they are saying is that this is not a situation. For instance, when APC came on board in 2014, it was a coalition like this. So this coalition is not exactly new in Nigeria.
The APC,
it is like repeating
the APC's
what
case was a merger, so to speak.
We've had a coalition before in Nigeria. We had a coalition of CPC, APC, ABGA, and some members of the PDP. Some of them decided to dissolve their parties and join the party, while others remained in their party. So what some people are arguing is that it may be possible to join a coalition of parties, not necessarily forming a new coalition. So we do not yet understand fully what the ADC stands for. Either it's a new vehicle that everybody wants to come into, or it's a coalition of political parties. We remember initially there was the ADA that was floated but yet to be registered. Now we are hearing that most of them have adopted ADC. So whether they are going to resign from their parties to join a new party, or it's a coalition of parties to form a united front adopting the ADC as the one that we go ahead of them, they are yet to fully explain to Nigerians. And it is important that they, take a step ahead of their detractors to explain this fully. So, but I know that it is still early days, and they are still, trying to cement all of these moves. So the Labour Party faction, as well as the ADC, the presidential candidate of the ADC in the last election, is already throwing spanners into their wheel. And it is important for the people who are talking about this coalition and adopting the ADC to quickly come together to explain their position, so that they will not have themselves facing a lot of litigations in the days ahead.
Well, what happened in 2013, 2014 was actually a merger, not a coalition. That's in the case of the APC. Yeah, but let me say this.
They are basically
the ADC is a ADC is a political party and recognized as a political party. So if anybody was going to pick up the ticket of the ADC, the person will be picking up the ticket as a candidate of the ADC, a political party. And I would suppose that's the reason why people like David Mark had to resign their membership of the PDP to take up a position in the ADC. So you look at this.
I agree with you.
Would you say, for instance, some of these politicians like Peter Obi are gambling, so to speak, because there's no question that he wants to run again. But you also have a situation where Atiku Abubakar too wants to run as well. And the question is, if, for instance, Peter Obi leaves the Labour Party officially to join the ADC, because at some point he would have to make that decision anyway. If he doesn't get the ticket of the ADC, I mean, would you expect him to now leave the ADC and go back or go join another political party so he could realize his ambition?
Well, just like you noted, Peter Obi has not done so well to hide his ambition to run again for presidency. But the truth of the matter is that the Labour Party does not seem to be a viable platform for him anymore. And before now, he has not really made up his mind as to which party he will be running on. We also know that before INEC, several political movements that are seeking to become political parties, one of which is the Obedient Movement. Whether that is receiving the blessing or the backing of Peter Obi or not, we are not very sure about that. But one thing is clear, Obi wants to run. But where he will run is not known yet, because he has fallen out with a faction of the Labour Party. With the splitting of the Labour Party, it may not longer be a viable platform for him. So the ADC, as it were, offers another opportunity for him to, express his political ambition. But again, it's not coming very smoothly, just like you have noted a while ago. If you want to run on the platform of another party, it only makes sense to resign from the one that you already are and then pick the ticket of that other one. But if you are here and you are there, then it gives room for litigations. You remember something like this almost happened with the Labour Party ticket that was offered to him. Some people went to court to challenge his candidacy, that at the point where he won the ticket of the party, he was not yet a registered member of that party. So it may be looking like another scenario again, where people will begin to challenge his candidacy of the party if eventually he gets the ticket of the party. But that is yet in the works. They have not concluded that, because we have a lot of people in that party or coming together now in the ADC that are ambitious to run for presidency. We have the likes of Amechi, we have Obi, we have Atiku, we even have El Rufai. Many of these people, and those who have not yet indicated, they all have a presidential ambition. How they will sort this out and how they will wade through the legal flood is something that will be interesting to see in the days ahead.
But finally, before I let you go, do you think this might be the final bus stop, as in the ADC, for these politicians? Because we know that they are also, they've also been an application to register ADA, that's the All Democratic, is it All Democratic Alliance? So we understand this might just be temporary. So do you see them moving on to ADA if it gets registered at the end of the day?
Well, it's still early days. They are testing the waters. So I think what they are doing with ADC is trying to, in my view, feel the pulse of Nigerians to see how they can quickly begin to garner the momentum with Nigerians. And already it is beginning to happen. So a lot of people have begun to talk about this coalition, talk about this movement, talk about this. So it is giving them exactly what they planned for, which is to whip up the support of Nigerians. The party name at this point may not matter so much to them. Eventually, they will settle for one. But at this stage, what is important to them, if I am being correct, is to see how Nigerians will accept this gathering of politicians, or some would say disgruntled, some would say angry politicians, or whatever adjective they want to use to tag them. But they are coming together to give the APC a run for its money. Now, what they are winning at this time is the sentiment, the support of Nigerians. So that when they begin to when the dust begin to settle, and it now becomes clearer whether it is ADC, ADA, or PDP, or even LP, they would have moved the support of Nigerians to wherever it is. It took a Peter Obi to make Labour Party as popular as it is today. And I think that is one thing they are banking on. So they are pulling out these people that have generated enough political movement across the nation. Atiku has his following, Obi has his following, and the rest of them. Once they come together under an umbrella, they are pulling together their massive support base. So at this stage in time, the political party may not be important. What is important for them is this support base that they are moving. Once they choose that party, it will be then game on for the race towards 2027.
All right, I think we just have to leave it there. Franklin Onoben, thank you very much for coming on the program and sharing your time with us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. That's how much we can take on the program this week. But thank you very much for watching. I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.